Okay, so next up is Rory from TripAdvisor, who's going to come and talk about their mobile offering. So let's welcome Rory to the stage.
Privyet, that's how you say it, hello. It's great to be in Moscow. I've always dreamed of being here. Ever since I was a kid playing hockey in Canada, I always thought Russia was always the formidable contender and the great opponent in hockey. So as two hockey nations, it's great to be here, my first time as well. And really enjoying the lovely weather, which sort of feels like Bermuda or the Caribbean, because I'm living in London, where it's probably about 10 degrees, quite cold. So it's unfortunate, but it's great to be here in the sun, great to be in Moscow. Thanks again for inviting me to the great event. I'm going to go through a lot of different slides, so I'm going to try and keep it short. I know everybody wants to go drinking now. But I'm going to really talk and focus more like on the customer insights, the traveler trends that are really important for our business, for the customers, and kind of describe it how we kind of build our business in mobile, what's the logic we use to build our proposition. So I just want to know right now, quickly, people in the audience want to know kind of who we have here. So are there many developers in the audience? And if there are many developers, show of hands. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20, 30 developers. So you guys are more tech focused. Are you developing mobile apps? Yes? Websites? Everything? Games? So guys are exams, everything. And who works in the travel industry? 2 people. Okay, so that's good. Keep that to a minimum. And who uses Foursquare and TripAdvisor? So we love Foursquare. We know Foursquare really well. We talk to them all the time. We really respect what they've done. And we do similar things, but we're a very different approach to the business. We have a very different business model. And I think what Foursquare is doing is really kind of groundbreaking, and we're definitely going to work together in the future on many cool projects. So it looks exciting, you know, in terms of the future, we're doing cool things together. So if you know our website, who here travels once a year, twice a year? I've traveled for business quite often, so quite a lot. Who uses a website to figure out where to go? What hotels to get? That's good, so it's pretty good penetration. Who here checks TripAdvisor? A few people. That's good, because that means there's a huge amount of growth for our business in this country. Who uses a TripAdvisor mobile application on their smartphone? 1 person, 10 people, 20 people. I feel like I'm in an auction house. Okay. Who has a Moscow city guide? 2 people, both from my company. That's not good. But that will probably change as well. So I'm going to go through all the different things, the native app, the Moscow city guide, as well as again, how we structure our approach to travel, how we build such a great, fantastic brand, and how people come back to us on a global scale. So our mission has remained the same. We are still helping travelers around the world to plan and have the perfect trip. We use this mission statement in everything we do. Everything that we build, every product decision, every feature, every marketing example, every time we bring in new content, new photos, it's all about trying to help people plan how the perfect trip. It's very much a customer engaging website, all about helping people really have deep and great emotions for when they plan their travels. Because traveling is a very emotional experience, it's also quite expensive. So we really bring and help people make those kind of important choices that are going to actually impact their life. We actually work across more than just hotel booking, so we're known for hotels, but in fact we cover the full travel life cycle. So if you don't break down your customer journey for your own application or for your websites, you have to define what exactly does that mean to your customer and to you, and how can you drive value in those different parts of the life cycle for both your business but also for your customer. So for our company, we do a lot of stuff around inspiration. So when you want to know where to go, you want to look at photos, reviews, tips. And then when you want to go through the planning booking phase, you want to know what hotel to book. So it's a very expensive product. My hotel is very expensive. So you need to really make sure you're choosing the right hotel to stay at, both for you, your friends, or your wife, or your lover. And then when it comes to the next phase, which is really on the trip, so mobile is very important for us. So it's all about the in-destination use case. So some figures in our company. So in terms of mobile apps right now, we're having a huge growth. It's really, really phenomenal because mobile is important for travel, and travel is a great use case for mobile. So people are using our apps in a big way. We have 80 city guides, so Moscow being one of them. We also have 45 monthly uniques, so 45 million uniques on mobile alone, so that's both mobile web but also mobile apps. So there's a huge amount of engagement globally on our mobile site, plus the mobile app, and that's going to drive a lot of business for us in the future. And the trend is really global, so it's not going to stop today, it's going to just continue for many, many years, and that's great for our business too. We have 2 mobile teams, one based in Boston, one based in California. And they actually focus one on tablet, one on mobile apps. It's quite a different experience and a very different part of the business now. And it's important that we as a company focus energies in different directions, because actually it's a huge impact on our business. So I have a bunch of stats I'm just trying to go pretty quickly. Basically here it's about the underlying trends. So in travel, the trends are huge, and the trends in mobile are really big too. We build our business based on where we see the trends going. So we basically want to build our business trying to catch the wave of trends that are already taking place in the market. You don't want to be going too far ahead of the market itself. So we've seen a huge amount of growth in travel apps. That's good for our business. We also see that young people are also using smartphones in a big way. Probably before you use desktop, they now use smartphones. So that's good for mobile and good for our business too. When it comes to travel planning, we have huge figures there that are really good, again, for travel. So we have people searching information about, say, a destination, but also hotel booking, trying to see the tips and the useful information, the photos, quick impressions before they make a big booking. And I think more curiously is that there's some kind of view that on mobile you have to get a deal. Nobody wants a deal on mobile. I'm not sure why, but they sort of feel like expectation is that if I see it on mobile, if I get a deal, I'll then make a booking or I'll make a transaction. So mobile deals are becoming bigger and bigger, and we're also looking in that direction as well. So mobile is also transforming the way you go and use your flights. Flights can be quite stressful, you're rushing, you want to basically take the stress out of that, and mobile is helping in that area. So people do check flight status, but also they want to basically lessen human interaction, they want to make it easier, faster, and less stressful, and mobile apps are becoming very useful to allow you to check into your flight beforehand, so you can have more time to enjoy, in your flight destination. So in destination, when you go somewhere, if I come to Moscow, I will use my smartphone as my guide. So we saw guidebooks, now it's smartphones. So we really take advantage of that. We're seeing huge, again, figures around research and what things to do. Curiously, on our application, people love to check for restaurants. That's a really big thing for us. Restaurants is now a big business for our company. We're focusing a lot of energy towards restaurants. It's a huge use case for our customers. And also maps are very important too. So maps is a key thing in our native apps, and a really strong use case there as well. When it comes to social engagement, people love taking photos, but also they love to share photos as well. So that's a really big, important part of the business. We also take a huge focus on how we can make things more sociable. We have a pretty important deal with Facebook. We have a huge amount of check-ins and Facebook pins, drops into our sites. And it's very important that we share reviews with our friends. It's really important that we have a context. So just some tips on what that all means. Essentially, it's really important to follow your customer. And that's probably the most important thing. If you're going to build an application, you want to follow the behavior of your customer, because they're the ones who are going to lead you and grow your business for you. If you follow what they want to do and you build it for them and test it, iterate, that'll be a much more successful approach to building your app business. Native versus mobile HTML. This is a really big topic, but quickly, we really believe native is important. It's a much stronger use case for the customer. It's faster, it's leaner. It kind of creates more customer love. Mobile is actually important to discover your app, but actually the mobile app itself will drive huger or much bigger engagement. So we see figures within our own business that the application has much stronger use case and usage than the mobile web. So the tip there is really web drives discovery and the app drives your customer use. So the city guide. So as you see, Moscow here, I got today is really good application. And I think the main point here is that it's about surprising and delighting your customers. So using a native app, I just went to the app today and I just saw new things. So I think every 2 weeks, this application has got new features. It's amazing how fast it is. It's a great experience. And it's all down to our mobile team who are developing more and more native features in our applications. So tablets. So tablet is officially becoming the new desktop. So desktop behavior is transferring to the tablet. You make big important decisions, big travel occasions, inspiring photos. It's important to think of tablet in that way. It's not really a mobile device. People still kind of use a home, but I think it's a very important future direction for most companies who want to make money out of their businesses. So we already see that a lot of our revenues are shifting towards tablet. So it's important that we really take that very seriously. The most important thing is to think of it differently to mobile. So what's the use case on tablet and how's it different to mobile? You can't have the same app. That wouldn't really make sense. So we've taken very big steps internally to separate the teams and to focus on building those different experiences in a very kind of logical way. to make sure we protect the revenue, but also to create the use case for the customer as well. So which way to go? We have this challenge internally. There's so many different directions to go. We can go in one direction with a mobile app. We can go into new use cases. We have a feature list that's probably like 1,000 features to build. And how do you choose the top ones? So that's quite specific, but I think what we're saying here is that you have to kind of choose your mountain to climb. So when you get to the top of the mountain, you kind of see the other mountain. That's another mountain there. It's pretty good too. But I'm on this mountain. Actually, kind of went in a big direction. So you have to really focus where you want to go. There's many platforms. There's iOS, Android. There's going to be a new one called Tizen from Samsung. There's Windows. How do you choose which platform? You got to follow the trends. So what's the stats of that? I think an iPhone is much more monetizable, and Android is much more of a web kind of experience. In fact. The end game is: are you trying to sell a company? Are you trying to build a business? Are you building a feature? So be very clear in what kind of use case you're building for your customer. So as many forks in the road, you have to commit to one or two and just go all the way. You can't kind of do halfway measure. You have to go all the way with your commitment to a certain direction. Take the risk, take the leap, and see where you get. You can always change direction later on, but you have to go in one direction, go fully, and make sure you are following trends and following the customer as well. So the Russian market, it's great. I mean, again, our company loves this country because it's huge growth that is happening today. We see that the travel market itself, inbound and outbound travel within Russia, going out to Russia, worth $60 billion alone. It's a huge amount of money. So that's going to change the market dramatically and shift a lot of that revenue online. So there's a huge amount of growth potential in this market, and that's very exciting for our company and great for the Russian traveler. We've been in Russia for 2 years now. We have a localized site. Our approach to internationalizing our business is to basically really partner locally, is to get local content, so content in Russian, written by Russian travelers. We also now conduct really great surveys like what are the top beaches in the world, and soon that'll come to Russia, so you'll know what do Russians think are the top beaches in the world, for example, or top restaurants in the world, top vineyards in the world. We have all this information now on the site, all actually written by Russians as well, so it's really kind of a localized offering, which makes us more relevant to the Russian customer. So the future of mobile is a very big topic, quickly. It's basically wearable technology. So I think wearable technology is really mobile. It's instinctively mobile in the sense that it's all about mobility, moving, and sensors, sensing your body, sensing things around you. Now this is not clear how companies will actually take advantage of that, but it's a huge scope, and it's very far away from desktop usage. So the web as we know it will probably soon, I think in a way, disappear, and be much more about how does that technology, how does the web actually enable wearable technology to help us do things in a different way, to explore new avenues, to Google Glass. All these things are really coming soon, and our company will certainly be there to take advantage of it, to work very closely with those partners to create some really exciting things when it comes to that aspect of the technology shift. The way that we expand as a company is via tech, talent, product. So we have a JSON API, which we actually do license out to partners for specific reasons. They can always contact me if you want to discuss that. We tend to work with fairly big partners who will drive engagement, but also take advantage of our content. We basically have 100 million reviews that could be taken from our API. We have a lot of photos, we have attractions, hotels, restaurants globally. So it's a really fantastic database and a very rich content set that we license out to many different partners, such as the automotive sector. We're now working with key car brands to bring our content into the car. So if you are driving, say, through Germany and through Russia, you want to know what's the best road trip, and on that road trip, what are the best restaurants, we can do all that for you and bring that into the car itself. So really interesting times for the company going forward. We made 2 acquisitions recently. So there's JetSetter and there's TinyPost. So these, we basically acquire, we grow, we actually buy talents of people who are really talented who work in JetSetter, people who work at TinyPost, a small company based in California. They created beautiful apps, great design, highly engaging, very customer focused, new ideas, a bit different to ours, but actually very complementary. So we're really expanding quite quickly as a company. We do acquire, and it's great to be in that position. And we tend to buy really exciting features or great websites or great brands that can expand our footprint, or we can also take advantage of our content and expand it to that level as well. So for the insights and the summary of this presentation, just really quickly, For those of you who are developing apps and want to know which direction to go in, there's really just 5 tips to remember when you do that. Number 1 is just follow your customer. Make sure you follow exactly what they're doing. Test, iterate, change, modify to encourage their behavior in the way that you want them to use your application. Number 2, web and app both have their purposes, but very different. So do you build an app or do you build a mobile website? Probably both, if you can afford it. But the mobile app will drive usage. The mobile web will drive discovery of your mobile app. Okay, discover your brand. But usage will happen in the application, and it's much more engaging and will drive customer love for your business. Number 3, surprise and delight. So make sure you're doing new things. They're fun, they're cool, they're colorful. It's a good experience, it's sensual. Don't go too cheap on that part. You have to make sure they love your application, otherwise they won't come back and use it. So it's important to try and make them love your brand as soon as possible. And so that also includes great design. So make sure that your things look really nice. Number 4, tablet is really different. It's immersive. It's a different kind of form factor. It's big planning. It's big transactions. A lot of revenue there, and it's not at all like a mobile app. It's a very different kind of use case. Although same kind of technology, but quite a different use case from the customer point of view. And number 5, be open to contradictions in mobile. So mobile is a funny space. So if I were to tell you that, for example, Android is a very big platform, obviously, but the main device sold in Android is actually Samsung. So Samsung actually drives Android sales. So when you think about mobile, it's a bizarre kind of industry taking place. It's moving so fast. You'll see things that don't always make sense. You have to try and work your way through it and make tough decisions, and you'll probably definitely get somewhere more interesting to do that. So that's my presentation. Thanks very much. Happy to speak to you later on.
Thanks, Rory. That's a great presentation. We've just got time for a couple of very quick questions before I invite the other panelists up. So, firstly, what's the weirdest or the funniest review you've had on TripAdvisor? And then following on from that, internally, I mean, you started as a web business, and clearly you've embraced mobile, more so than many travel brands. Can you give a bit of insight into how that worked, how you convinced senior management, and any of the pain points that you had to go through?
Sure. So the strangest reviews, we get reviews from all over the world, and we get reviews that mention ghosts in hotels, that mention spiders attacking them when they sleep, bats. We get situations where they believe that sometimes the people who run the hotels are murderers. So all kinds of crazy reviews come in. We see them all. We try and filter them, but sometimes they're really crazy ones come through, and they're always relevant. People like to see it. It's quite entertaining as well. The second question, so we built the company 10 years ago. I've only been there for a year and a half or so. It's built by Steve Coffer, our CEO, a very sharp guy. And what he initially built was a blog, basically like a blog around hotel reviews and tips. And when he opened that up to the public and people started to write their own reviews, it just took off completely. And that's where we kind of ended up to, let's say, 2 or 3 years ago. When we saw the trends, again, it's just really following the trend. We see the trends in mobile. We knew that was going to take off massively. We had to be there and be in a strong position early on so we could claim market space. Because mobile is happening fast. If you don't claim space now, you may lose out to competitors. And it's important to get your brand out there fast. So we saw the opportunity, we saw the figures going in the right direction, etc. And we started building out our first mobile app, which essentially it was our website shoved into a mobile app. So it's a very early phase of our application. That was 2 or 3 years ago. Since then, we have 2 teams now, tablet and mobile, kind of different. Tablet is much more around how we can make sure that we monetize effectively, because our desktop traffic will be shifting to tablet over time. So we can't risk that revenue, and we have to make sure we can capture that revenue as well. And the tablet's a different experience. So how do we build the product to make sure that it's still as effective in the way the desktop is effective? It's really important commercially for the business. We're taking all the steps to do that, and it's been great. Mobile is different. It also it monetizes differently. It's not necessarily booking hotels all the time. It's also restaurants, it's maps, it's check-ins, it's looking at attractions, city guide tours. It's a very different product now. And so the teams have had to look at them in different ways, all using the same API. That's fantastic. And really our CEO is a massive fan of mobile. Like there's no barrier. He wants to succeed. He sees the future as being definitely in the mobile space.
Perfect. Thanks, Rory.